one Hiromi Yaibin. I'm Hiromi, they, them. I'm the creative lead for Scion, as well as writer and developer for many Scion titles and loads of other games. This is the Scion Showcase, where a bunch of writers and developers finally get to play the game that we talk a lot about, and, you know, cause chaos for each other in the process. It's still technically Pride Month, but I think most of us have moved to Wrath Month because there are a variety of ways to help, from protesting to contacting your representatives to donating to local abortion funds. If you're not sure what your local abortion fund is, the National Network of Abortion Funds has partnerships with over 100 other organizations in the US and a few outside the US. I'll put a link somewhere around here and also in the chat. And now let's meet the players. Michaela, who are you, who are you playing, and what kind of hobbies do they have?
Hello everyone, I am Michele Mazara, him, RPG writer and Onyx Path freelancer from Italy. I play Elena Torns Rappaccini, they, them, a born scion of Veles of the Bogovi. And that's me.
Hobbies.
My hobbies for my character, sorry. I think Elena probably, okay, let's go with this. Elena loves watching cartoons even if they are higher than the suggested age for those.
Nice. Very relatable.
Yeah, I draw that from personal experience.
I feel like this chronicle is about this far away from just being real life Gravity Falls and or Steven Universe, so you know.
Yeah,
we'd like to be serious like what the hell, Avatar, but that's not in the cards.
Yes, famously serious show Avatar.
I survived through my bout of COVID through Hilda and the Whole House and Little Witch Academia, so I pay due respect to what kept me up.
Elliot, who are you? Who you playing? And what kind of hobbies do they have?
So I am Elliot Freeman, writer and developer for Onyx Path, mostly for Exalted, but a little bit for Scion. I am playing BP, Beauregard Prescott, a born scion of Gaia and a veritable hobby magpie. He's one of the like theater tech people who has learned everything he needs to live off the grid and survive the apocalypse. But I'm guessing his current big hobby is, I don't know, like that thing where you try and do pottery using only like mud and campfires. He went down a YouTube rabbit hole and he's still climbing his way back out of it.
Nice. And David, who are you? Who are you playing? And what kind of hobbies do they have?
Hi, I am David Castro, they, he. I am playing Damien De La Cruz, the incarnate scion of Makure Huavabaya, the Taino god of death. And Damien's hobbies include going to a bottomless brunch, going to, but definitely not scoping out museums, and long walks on the beach.
I love the idea of fabulously wealthy and also fabulous Damien. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna save some money. Bottomless buffet.
The rich stay rich by being cheap as fuck.
No lies detected.
Yeah, you know. All right. So pretty sure that we covered experience last session, but it's also been a few weeks since last session, and it's always good to remind our viewers how the hell experience works in Scion. So everyone gets one experience for being here and also being awesome. It's the same point, and you're all awesome. So it's the same deed. It's the same achievement, really. Everyone who accomplishes a short-term deed gets one for that. And I do believe everyone achieved a short-term deed last time around, which means everyone gets another one for that. I'm pretty sure you emptied out your momentum pool, which definitely counts as spending at least half. So that's another one for everyone. And I'm pretty sure I said that the end of last session counted as a story milestone. If not, it was the session before that. But I'm pretty sure it was last time, which means everyone got 5. And in Scion, there's a fair number of things you can spend it on. Increasing an attribute is 10 experience, adding a dot to a birthright or making a new birthright, that's 5 per dot. Changing your favorite approach is fucking stupid, and I'm cutting it in the next edition. I have no idea when I'm making the next edition, but I'm fucking cutting it because it's fucking stupid.
Tell us how you really feel, Hiromi.
It doesn't have any in-game benefit. Why the fuck is it 15 experience?
Yeah.
Neil, what the shit?
God damn it, Neil.
I mean, it does. It gives you 1 free dot across the approach line.
No, but so it's not free.
But changing it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Like you're correct. It does give you a free dot during character creation, but like after that, like what?
Buy the story guide at rate, and that's enough to pay for that, I'd say.
Yeah, if you're gonna change it, it should just be free. And you just justify it through story. Increasing skill or getting a new one is 5 experience per dot. Important caveat is that during character creation, if you have a skill or if you have anything at 3 or more dots, you get a specialty for free. You do not get specialties for free during gameplay. So if you increase skill or attribute to 3, you have to pay an additional 3 experience to add a specialty. But of course, you can also have more than one specialty. So it's neat. And knacks are expensive at 10 a piece because knacks are really good. Although at origin tier, you can only have sorry, no, never mind. You can. I'm thinking of boons because I have system bleed.
You can have a bunch of knacks. You can't use more than one at a time and at origin tier.
Yeah.
You have to switch them between scenes, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me, for specialties, that gives you an enhancement when it's applicable to anything except the skill you got it from, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, for example, if you have the firearm specialty, historical weapons, it doesn't make you better at shooting historical weapons, but if you're trying to buy one, if you're trying to find one, if you're trying to break one, you'd get 1 enhancement for all of that. So like historical weapons specialty, if you wanted to use that in close combat and do the cool trick where you slap your hand in between the hammer And the weapon, you'd get an enhancement to that and just go, screw you. You can't use your gun. Ha ha ha. In real life, that will cut you, but it's a lot better than being shot. So, you know.
It's true.
Choices.
I believe I spent my experience on 2 new dots in empathy because I didn't have any empathy. Say what. Feel free to take from that whatever you want from my character. That he began this game with no empathy.
I love the fact that the face didn't have empathy.
He had
Huge amounts of
integrity,
manipulation,
he had
though.
leadership, he had manipulation, he had culture, he had no empathy.
You know, like you do sometimes.
Yeah, you know.
He is, as I like to say, a problem.
Susan.
Hard to be well-rounded sometimes. At any rate, since y'all took care of your deeds last time around, who has new deeds? And I mean, ideally everyone has new deeds, but what are they?
So,
Mine is to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay. Mine is to fast, my short-term deed is to fast talk into a place or location. And we haven't figured out what our new band deed is, so I don't want to presume that for everybody.
I mean, we can figure it out in just a sec. It sounded like Elliot had something ready to go.
Yeah, so BP has been rolling with the punches a lot, but he's a very like composed character, and so for mine, I'm hoping for him to have a moment where he gets to like really actively and steadfastly like stand up to some kind of the supernatural weirdness that I'm sure is coming our way.
I mean, if you want supernatural weirdness, you're in the right fucking game. Not just because it's Scion, but because it's also me.
I knew what I was signing up for, mostly.
Like, we could
I
be
had
playing,
suspicions.
We could be playing, I don't know, like Spirit of the Century, and I'd find a way to make it weird,
Literal.
supernatural.
Yeah. Make it awesome.
Yeah.
As for me, I think that after going for a rather vague deed last time, I think Elena will want to make some tangible progress to at least get back home to Seattle from the other side of the country. Like maybe figuring out what's the first step to move westward from where they are right now.
Yeah. Especially because Helena still has a bunch of paint supplies from the Universal Bookstore to deliver.
Chess is gonna need those.
Those will come up.
I also wanted to mention that unlike Jeffrey and David, who had their Pantheon path figured, I'd only placed Bogovi right there, but I'd like to put that as Naturwrath at its beginning, or an official name that would be I kick ass for the trees, but that's up to what the group wants.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, please?
Okay. Yes, see, I didn't have a proper path for my Pantheon. Okay. I just put there Bogovi as a sort of placeholder for the moment. And so either the cool I write games and I would put this as a writer would be Nature's Wrath begins or something like that at the beginning, or me being the silly goose I am is I kick ass for the trees.
All right.
Love it.
Lovely. Just lovely.
Okay. and
Ask Clorax.
needed to have a band deed. So the first band deed was become a band, and you despite having a really weird sequence of getting thrown together and having to deal with random bullshit, like watching someone who looks just like you shoot a Rakshasa in the face, and hurling grandma's heirloom pipe wrench at people, like, and that's just the last session. No, sorry, it's the last two sessions. But what are you feeling now?
I think
Go ahead. I'm still thinking.
okay. We have this problem going with Chart trying to mess with us, so I think sealing the deal and cleaning up our name could be a good bandit for the moment, if the others agree, of course.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Mine was also going to be something along those lines, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Clearing your name is both makes sense and is probably pretty important if you don't want SCU and, well, everyone after you. All right. So made sure that we have all the XP, got new deeds. Now it's time to remind ourselves, what the hell's going on? Would anyone like to take a stab at that?
Yeah.
Elliot's like,
last time on the Scion Showcase, because we don't have a name for this chronicle. Chronicle, is that what they're called? I don't know.
yeah, which is weird because it's not WAD or
yeah.
Saga for next edition.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's pretty good. I liked it a lot. So last time we sought refuge in a bar. I forgot the name of the bar.
Cauldron.
But
The Cauldron.
say again?
The Cauldron.
The Cauldron, yeah. Pissing off the owner of or supposedly the person in charge there, Mrs. Robinson, as we sort of forced their hand in defending us, and then we had motorcycle-based combat against some Rakshasa, in which there were plant big cats, I think, or bears. There were bears. Bears.
This is Pride
Plant
Month.
bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We had the hope of the bears to get out of there. And then we were on our way back to New York, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the idea was to go to either your place or someplace that you own or control, and sort of regroup from there. That lines up fairly well with my notes. You didn't directly piss off Mrs. Johnson, but the waitress, Katrina Adebayo, who was in the Junior Argonauts with Mitch, gave y'all nachos on the house, which violated the Cauldron's neutrality. And that is what pissed off Mrs. Johnson.
Those
Because
damn nachos.
yeah,
They were good nachos, though.
I mean, they tasted good. So
We brought them with us.
that's
That is
important.
canon.
Need road trip snacks.
Mhm.
And it's still worth mentioning that Helena went Street Fighter on a Rakshasa and fucking Shoryukens it. Just it jumped off of a building and they were like, Shoryuken! Just KO.
It was my first full 10 dice pool ever, and it went very well.
Just imagining like creeping up behind you and being like, "Have you heard the good word of exalted?"
I never managed to get to 10 dice even there.
All right. So Jeffrey couldn't be here with us today, but Mitch is still here driving the truck because having characters just sort of poof out of existence when their players aren't around is awkward, especially when, you know, they're behind the wheel and if they poofed out, you all get in a wreck.
That would be the worst episode of the leftovers ever.
Just a temporary rapture.
Though, if any of us did, it would be Mitch.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. So are you doing anything special on your way to New York City? Like, you taking any kind of special routes, trying to do anything, trying to stop by at any attractions? I have no idea what's in between Salem and New York City, but I'm sure I could look it up.
I mean,
don't
it
know.
is Massachusetts, so there are definitely fun stores we could go to. But
I mean, there are plenty in Salem right here, but you want to leave, so maybe not.
Yeah.
We have a montage of us on the road at like different gas stations trying on cheap sunglasses.
Weird t-shirts and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
Damien is definitely getting the very best leaf that you can buy in these nice legal stores. But he is also calling over to his people to set up his like Damon's the kind of person who has like, there's his house and then there's the like apartment that he has on the side where like if he has a hot date, they're not coming to his house, they're coming to that place over there. That's where we're going. We're not actually going to Damien's house.
It in my head, I have already labeled it side piece central, but
Yes.
How many water beds does it have?
Water beds. What year is this?
Exactly.
No, Damien's not that old.
they came with the apartment. No,
It's the weirdest they came
Now-
from game.
Now it came from side piece central. Definitely not pitching that. But it definitely does have a like heart-shaped like hot tub jacuzzi thing. That's what it does have. It doesn't have a waterbed though. That's gauche. Mirrors, maybe.
Why is this carpet leopard print?
seashells all around the mirrors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't look up, it's fine.
I think that Elena is basically surviving out of sheer shock and energy drinks right now. They spend most of the time with the cold coin on there for and they are just stressed.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know that anyone actually got rest yet, and y'all were planning on what did we decide? 3 hours drive?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So is anyone napping?
I'm trying, but I'm
Rest is-
failing.
Rest is for the week.
Uh,
Pure New Yorker. Rest is for the week.
I guess PP will just rest into it.
Okay.
He's one of those people who can fall asleep anywhere.
I wish I had that skill.
Addie is also taking a nap, mainly because there's no more content to shoot right now. So just plugging all of her phones into various portable batteries and then just like charging herself by going. So that means that 3 people are awake, with Damien probably being the most alert because he's not driving and he's not trying to sleep. So give me pilot plus cunning, please.
Oh, geez. Okay, so give me cunning. Just cunning. Got it.
Ah.
Pilot. I'm a New Yorker. There's no pilot in my character.
Helena can also roll. It's just going to be a slightly higher difficulty.
So far, I rolled 110. That rolled another 10. That rolled a 7. All right, so 2 successes.
I'm not going as right. I also have just cunning and well for fun.
2 successes on 4 dice isn't bad.
Just 1. I don't even get a momentum from this.
Yeah. Your difficulty was 2. So Helena sees the coin and it feels nice. Damien sees a few cars back. An SUV with New York plates that seems to be following. Like, it's not being super obvious, but it is following.
As someone with a toe into the shady realm, it's not difficult to see what that a car is a unmarked official vehicle if you know what to look for. Do I see any of that like recessed extra lighting or like more antennas than it should probably have?
Let's call that either subterfuge or culture, and I don't know, let's see, either cunning or intellect. Probably No, actually, they're equal for you. So
Yep. I'm going, but for my purposes, I'm going to be going with cunning and subterfuge.
Okay.
And gain my enhancement from perfect poise.
Okay.
I think that works here. I don't remember. Oh, thank God this isn't World of Darkness where there were so many ones. 110, one success.
Storypath.
All right. Yeah, no, that is 100% an unmarked police car. And since it has New York plates, and you know that SCU is interested in you, high likelihood. It is not definitely SCU, but it is definitely a New York cop. In Boston right now, not Boston, in Massachusetts. So the good news is they probably don't have jurisdiction. The bad news is
yeah, because that's never stopped anyone before.
What? Cops breaking the law?
That can't happen. That's not real. I announced this fact to the cab of the car that we're in. I just say, like, hey, this is happening. They're following us. Probably, definitely a cop car. Don't know which cop, but it's New York plates, so NYPD is a good assumption to make.
Is anyone going to do something about it at this point?
I'll just comment. I ran out of stuff to throw at them. So I'm not sure what we can do right now.
Hey, here's the thing about that. Unlike these cops out here, NYPD is definitely closer to paramilitary than anything else. We don't want to get into it with them if we can avoid it. Which is probably why they're out here, because the NYPD has like satellite members all over the goddamn place. We can try to evade them. It will be obvious that we are trying, and should we fail, that just give them a reason to do whatever it is they want to do. I am always against giving cops a reason. So I suggest we just continue on. We aren't actually doing anything wrong.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm shocked too.
I was just being a facetious there. I had no real intention to throw stuff at them here, at least. So
listen, I support your first inclination of throw things at cops.
No, it's I know how not to engage in situations depending on the ongoing circumstances. There's a place and a time for everything, as some minds used to say. So let's just...
time to sow, a time to reap, a time to throw things at police.
It's a catchy song.
Out of context quote we have.
Perfect. Not to encourage you to make questionable choices, but you had previously mentioned having a montage of stopping at gas stations and trying on different sunglasses, and presumably also buying crappy gas station food. If you do so, the police SUV will obviously either stop at the gas station or stop near it. And if you wanted to try fuckery in such a situation, the option is available. I'm not saying you have to take it. I'm just saying it's there.
Damien definitely buys some 7-Eleven taquitos and a Slurpee. That definitely happens. Has no bearing on this, but I would just like that known.
Did you say taquitos or takis?
Taquitos.
Okay.
Though I wouldn't be surprised if they had taki flavored taquitos.
Oh my god!
If that doesn't exist now, it will soon.
It exists in the world. I have just decided.
And it's canon now. Okay, unless Elliot has any other ideas, and since BP is more tech savvy than Elena is, I think Elena wouldn't hate the idea of pouring some Slurpee into the cop's car. I'm sorry, into the fuel van. I lack the correct word right now.
Gas tank?
Gas tank, thank you. Sorry. When it gets late, my bilingual disappears completely. I'm so sorry about that.
I mean, your English is incredible, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like that, but I appreciate you saying this.
I mean, your English has like thousands of words more than my Italian, so, you know.
Okay. Thank you. Well, anyways, yes, the idea to commit a little bit of a crime there is definitely something I'm trying to do, regardless of my actual dice pool for the matter.
And when I brought up this option, Elliot made such a face. Is BP gonna do anything?
The problem that I realized as I was coming up with the plan is that there is no way that BP would have come up with this plan, because it depends on skills that he doesn't have and a temperament that is completely opposite of his own. So, I mean, like, if BP is doing anything, it would almost be to just like go over and say howdy and just strike up a conversation.
Would you like to go over, say howdy, and strike up a conversation?
I would, but let me double check just one thing, because
I have something I can do. I think. I have to look something up, or if somebody has it up, have their origin, I think it is, or hero, one of them. I can't recall which one has all of the knacks in it.
I have both of them up.
Yeah, that could honestly be both of them. Probably in hero though. I believe neither the minute nor the hour lets me do some spooky shit and scare some people.
You make a prediction about the details of your target's inevitable death, which does not have to be true, and make an opposed knack skill roll. If successful, the target suffers +1 difficulty to all actions for the rest of the scene.
Oh, that's strong.
Yeah. Very strong, but also very, very narrow, which I like.
Although weirdly, the wording on it does not seem to suggest that you have to talk to them, which is, you know, kind of bad design. It should say one way or the other. Since it doesn't say, and because that's awesome, I'm going to say that you don't have to talk to them. But since Beauregard
the plan was to talk to
along.
somebody else. My idea was to do this to the unfortunate gas station attendant who just happened to be on shift in this
Jesus.
moment while we're doing this nonsense, to provide distraction while Luna does their thing.
That helps.
Wherein I go in. I'm going to assume for the scene that at least at this particular gas station, there was nowhere else to stop, so they had to stop in the gas station with us. And I walk up to the gas station attendant, and I just start talking to this person, just conveying how, like, I don't know, we've been traveling for like a few miles now. They've been behind us this whole time, and now they're stopped here, man. Do you ever just get bad vibes off of like a person, even though you haven't met them? They're just like rancid vibes, truly, truly rancid. And just like, I don't know, man, it's weird. Anyway, I'm sure nothing terrible could happen with them, though. It's probably just in my head. I'm probably in my head. Anyway, thanks for the taquitos that I walk away. I don't know how to make a nat skill roll, so
So knack skills are almost deliberately nebulous to the point where I don't really know why it says that, because it's the most appropriate skill for the knack, which is kind of like saying it's the most appropriate skill for the roll, which is how the rules work all the fucking time. So like
in this
it's
case,
a thing, but is it?
May I suggest manipulation and subterfuge?
Because of the nature of it, it's going to be presence as opposed to manipulation, but that's not too much of a problem for you.
Nope.
And also because you're talking about how this person's going to die, your underworld specialty is going to apply.
Oh.
And this is a minor character, so one success is plenty.
Good, because I only got 2.
Yeah, no, the attendant is super paranoid and anxious right now. I don't think the increased difficulty is going to do anything to let's say him, but do the cops need gas? Yes. All right, well,
I'm thinking about it in the way I think about fate, and I'm like, listen, there's this thing y'all can tag now. Here you go. If y'all want to use it, y'all can use it.
Do we have momentum by any chance?
No, we have no.
We ran out.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
y'all used
we
it
burnt
all
all of it.
last session. And last session went really well for you considering everything that could have fucking gone wrong. Like got the truck out of there before sabotage happened, beat the shit out of like 4 Rakshasa, and scared off another one. So, you know,
Well spent. It was well spent.
So there are 2 cops in the SUV. Again, obviously they're plain clothes, but you know what undercover cops look like, and yeah, And so one of them goes into pay, and I just looked it up. Massachusetts is a you can pump gas to yourself state. Apparently there are only two, New Jersey and Oregon. Yes.
Can BP try and see, like, so BP's really good at all sorts of various weird, handy sort of stuff. Can he notice any like some small minor thing that their card needs to have done to it that he can use as a pretext to starting a conversation with them?
100% can. Okay, so is it just a pretext, or is it like, are you looking for like something that would actually be functionally wrong?
If there is something easily believed, if there is something wrong, that's definitely what he's going to like zero in on and just be like, yeah.
Okay.
I saw y'all were following us a little bit, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but
I'm going to call that technology and intellect.
Okay. Oh, must it be intellect? You're good.
I mean, it's better than your manipulation.
This is true, which is why I'm very carefully not lying with it. Let's see. Oh.
While you're rolling that,
yeah.
The officer that went in to pay for the gas is having problems checking out because the attendant is not having a great day.
So that's already 5 successes, and four of the dices are 10s.
I was wondering what that face was for. It was either good or a botch. Wow. Okay.
And that brings it up to 7 successes.
Will you leave some for somebody else, maybe?
So
just goes up there with his like, you know, you really need to take this in for maintenance. We've got this whole.
They call it standard maintenance for a reason. Somehow, despite everything, you find out that they are actually out of their manufacturer's warranty.
Mm-hmm.
Those calls were not spam.
No. Lord.
So I am not much of a car person, so I'm going to make something up that is relatively plausible within my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be completely fucking wrong, and someone in the chat will probably let me know. So I'm just gonna say that whoever last did an oil change on the SUV put in the wrong weight oil, and that SUV has probably like 100 miles or so before it throws a rod and destroys the engine. So like it was crucial for you to detect it, and they owe you. Like, Helena might not even need to salvage the car, but they still can if they want to.
Yeah.
They don't know that yet. They don't know that yet.
Helena's sneaking up behind while BP is having this conversation. He's just going.
The gas tank is already
Are you
open.
doing it?
It's your call. Go with your gut.
Okay, no, I think Elena at this point sees what BP is going for, and so they have Slurpee, and so.
All right.
I have something to drink for a little while.
Fair.
But I was this close.
With 7, can I convince them to like let me take a look under the hood and very subtly make it worse?
Fan belt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. With 7
Mm-hmm.
successes, I'll let you do
Yeah.
almost anything. Like,
You can just
I'll
rewrite
probably
fate at
bar
this
some
point with
things,
7.
but
He's got an innate toolkit though too, so he doesn't even need the suspiciousness of like having tools. So he's just in there like tinkering around, checking the oil, and he's just like tisking. And while he does that, he just reaches over and pinches some wires and cables and seals them shut. Nothing that's going to look too suspicious, but all of it is going to be stuff that like, yeah, this would be completely explicable as it just like the oil problem being exacerbated much sooner than the 100 miles.
And still probably save them a couple $1,000s in a new engine entirely.
Look, if
Yeah.
they can break down in like 10 miles, that would be lovely.
okay.
If they're not going to follow the warnings.
Yeah. I think based on what you were saying, of like screwing with wires, I think maybe in like 10 miles, instead of it throwing a rod, maybe like every warning light, fucking every warning light, including ones they didn't even know existed, just go off. Alternatively, they could throw the rod. I don't know which one is funnier.
As this just happened to my partner's car, you can definitely do a thing where you set off all those lights because you've messed with the computer and there isn't actually anything wrong with the car.
Oh no, there's definitely something wrong with this car. If not before, then very shortly after.
Hell, if you fuck with the air sensor, it'll just stop going anywhere. Because the engine will stop knowing how much air is coming in and won't be able to adjust the fuel air mixture and just sort of go, I don't know how to burn this. What do you want from me?
Yep.
So yeah, no, that any or all of that happens, and within 10 miles, they are not following you anymore. I just had to review all your deeds and realize that the Damien had the fast talking, because even though BP wasn't explicitly fast talking, kinda, but no. Okay, so
I did not count that towards fast talking into place. Though if you want to give it to me anyway, I will take it. I did not think of it as that when I was doing it.
Oh no, I meant like if the fast talking deed was BP's, then I'd be like probably, but BP's is sort of standing up to supernatural weirdness. And right now, the only supernatural weirdness is the fear of imminent death that the gas station attendant has.
Not to be too real, but interacting with cops will do that to you.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No?
Yeah.
Are we still at the gas station, or we moved forward from that?
I am assuming that you are like 10 miles away and watching the
Okay.
SUV pull off to the side. If you wanted to do something else, then you can do something else.
Well, I had a little plan since Elena is basically stranded way far from home right now.
Mhm.
They're gonna need some money, and I planned to steal a little bit from the till, from the counter, as the poor attendant is having
Panic attack.
that problem.
Wait,
But
what?
it's a long way from Massachusetts to Seattle, and I have no money whatsoever, and some.
I'm sure the gas station has an ATM. I mean,
Oh right, you have.
this is
those,
modern
yeah.
day.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest stealing from the ATM instead of the till.
Oh,
But
You don't
But
even have to
either
steal.
way-
Just use your money. I have cash. Do you need money?
I no, Elena has no resources whatsoever. So, which game-wise translates in I can survive in the world, but probably don't have the money to make bigger expenses for those watching.
Okay, so screwing with the ATM is
Yes.
definitely going to be subterfuge. How are you going about it?
Okay, Elena is terrible with technology. So I think I just try to uncork something and grab money before something happens, because it's honestly the best
It's the
thing I
most
can do
difficult
in
way
this
of doing
situation.
this. Okay.
I know, but I have no better option.
The absolute most
no,
difficult way of doing it.
Yeah, no, forcing it open is going to have a higher difficulty, but
It's fair.
you also have more dots and might than anything else, so it might be a wash. So yeah, subterfuge plus might, and
I'm probably not gonna do that barehanded. I'm grabbing like a wrench from Mitchell's truck to help me with that.
it's grandma's heirloom ATM stealing wrench.
Okay, that's five announcements for the world. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of the specialties I see on your sheet would
No, I
apply,
don't think
but
so.
I mean,
Okay. Sorry. Well, it's still a decent score. Okay. Unlike Elliot, in this case, I rolled lots of dice and still managed to get a botch in there. 2 momentum for us, but a botch. While trying to steal from an
Lovely.
ATM.
yeah, no, that's
So we get that momentum.
We get some
so
momentum.
bad news, good news. The bad news is the attendant has a 10. The good news is re-rolling, it's a 1. And because of the increased difficulty, that's not enough. So the attendant does not know that you did that.
Okay. I rolled an impressive number of dice and obtained nothing, so I'll just leave dessert and then try to accomplish my deed later on at some point.
Yeah, the ATM is out of order now.
It's only fair.
Just fucking up for everybody.
I let you all down, I'm sorry.
Where do I put this note? Helena breaks an ATM. No witnesses. Okay, cool. All right. So you are on the road.
Is it okay to say that like Damien saw this and was like, one, not how you do that. Two, if you needed some cash, I could have just floated you some. If you want to do that, and then like I have like extensive knowledge of like card hacking shit where you just that's the way you get at this, or you steal somebody's card. You don't actually break the machine. You don't have to do life on hard mode, man.
Yeah, look, I'm usually better at this, but I'm in a difficult situation at the moment, and I was improvising with what I had, which is a wrench. And we are doing well together, but I don't like asking money to friends, and we are still getting there. So you can imagine how I'm not exactly up to the idea to ask an amount of money that I don't even know how big it is. Okay, so, and it's not because I don't trust you, but it's because I don't like doing that. So don't take that personal.
Whatever.
Okay.
Y'all on some other shit.
I'll keep that in mind. And by the way, thanks for saying so, because I don't want to look like I don't appreciate that. I do. But I also like to try sort my stuff out by myself.
For reference, one-way flight is probably going to be about $300.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think for Damien that's breadcrumbs, I imagine.
All right. So
it's not a like inconsiderable amount of money, but it's also not an amount of money that Damien would blink at.
all right. You are on I-95 headed to New York, and on sorry, on my map I have a saved location. I'm like, why do I have a saved location in New York City? Because characters in one of my stories live there, like in an apartment that doesn't actually exist, but at that specific address. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
I've definitely
fun
never
fact.
done that before, where I've made up a apartment building at 66th Avenue, which definitely does not exist.
Fun fact for folks who want to set a story or a character or anything in a location that you don't know. Google is incredibly good at spying on people. So you can use Google Street View to be like, what does this neighborhood look like? And just know what it looks like. You
will get pictures of things that are probably at least a couple years old, but that's fine. Also, you can do that so that you can set things in other places other than New York.
It's true.
There are other places.
No, there aren't. They're all fake.
I fucking knew you were gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He set me up.
It's true. It was T-ball. All right. So nothing weird seems to happen on your way down I-95. I don't really know New York's boroughs, so and also Damien's apartment is wherever David wants it to be. So
It's probably on the upper west side of Manhattan. And if you're coming from the north, you're probably driving through the Bronx because that's the only part of the city actually on the mainland. Everything else is islands. So unless we're going through Jersey, which you should never do, you are probably coming down through other parts of New York into the Bronx and then Manhattan from there.
Okay. So yeah, drive through the Bronx, wave to Jackie Chan, and there you are on the Upper West Side.
I have that movie on VHS. BT
So good.
dubs.
It's so good. All right, so you are all now in Side Piece Central. It is tastefully decorated. Exactly. What you doing?
It's serving you very American Psycho vibes. Where like it is very sparse and very white. That there is a
has
couch.
very
It looks very
curated
good.
vinyl
It is
collection.
incredibly uncomfortable.
And you have
Yes.
a very curated vinyl collection.
You
Yes,
send
yes,
the
I do.
news at full volume.
At some point, DP might ask, like, so I know we've kind of been through a lot of weird shit already. Does anyone want to talk about the bears?
The bears were the only good part.
They're
of
doing
this,
off
this.
for the season. Oh,
No,
those
not
ones, right?
yeah, not those bears. Like the ones that were
Not the bears. Got it.
no, the ones that were just batting around the motorcycle, rock Johnson.
Helena knows that they were named Lily and Daisy.
Yes, I baptized them on the spot. And I don't have the details, but they sort of came through this coin. I don't know if their coin is a connection to any sort of weird mythical crap or stuff like that, or if just like a bear phone shaped like a coin. I have no idea. I haven't slept in one day, and so. But yes, I basically summoned the bears, and they were great. So that's all I have to say on them.
I'm a fan of that. We're gonna be getting in this kind of trouble, and summoning bears is nice. Just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. That it wasn't just like a random thing that happened. But
no, I'm to blame for that. I'm sorry if they later came out of nowhere.
Well, that's not a blame thing. That's just it's just very cool.
Indeed.
Obviously, Addie takes a lot of video of Side Piece Central. Because it was night when you rolled up, there wasn't a whole lot of footage that she could take of New York or of Manhattan, so she probably slept through most of that. Probably waking up every 10
Nighttime
minutes.
is a great time to take footage of Manhattan.
Is it? Okay, well then she did.
It's the city of lights, yeah.
Listen to me. I want Final Cut on anything that you're putting up before you put it up, because I swear, if you post our address just by accident, I don't know.
You definitely have to tell her to turn off the like geo thing, geotagging.
Do not check into Foursquare.
Yeah, I don't want to sound awful, but I'm speaking from a little bit of well, let's call that training, but takes very, very little to deduce a location, especially from a site of an apartment like this. So I'd suggest to at least upload it when we are done with the place.
Oh yeah, there's definitely moratorium on this.
Listen,
Addison holds up one
Slide.
of the 3 cameras that she has pointed at her right now, and points out that despite the fact that you can see out the windows and get a general sense of where you are through the windows, on the footage, there's a filter on it, and you cannot actually see. So unless someone knows your apartment specifically, they would not be able to figure out where it is.
Just saying.
I just need I'm sure you understand having a secure place for the people who haven't graduated to the level of knowing where you actually live. I'm sure you understand this. So just treat this with the discretion that this place deserves. All right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not the first time that I've gotten background footage of people who might not want the police to know their activities.
That is definitely a sentence that she just said.
She has a 3-way selfie stick. It's holding up 3 cameras so that you could get
okay. I was I don't know what that sentence means. Okay.
The selfie trident.
You trident, yeah.
It's a relic.
It's definitely a relic. It's definitely at least 2 dots. So in my place there are the couch does pull out. I have an air mattress thing. And then there's my room. So there is space to hang out because there's not, because of the purpose of Side P Central. There's not a lot of stuff here. There's basic food stuffs that are shelf stable. Definitely we can all take a shower. If you feel puffy, there are definitely ice packs in the freezer. Have fun. It's hip to be square plays in the background mutedly.
Can I make a cultural roll to notice how creepy that is in the context? Or rather, to ask to the Scion dev, is American Psycho a movie in the world?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I can't imagine why it wouldn't be.
I mean, it still serves as scathing satire of society, even in a slightly different version. Well, very different version, but somehow also very similar, because that's just how the Scion canon works.
I totally agree.
So yeah, it's mildly creepy. I'm not even going to have to make you roll for that. But unless David says there is not an axe in the umbrella stand, nor is there a rain slicker on a coat hanger.
Definitely not. This is not the style of Damien.
Okay, so yeah, it's hip to be square plays, and it does kind of look like the apartment from American Psycho, but that's as far as it goes.
It does there, right?
All right, and since it's a good time for the characters to take a break and clean up and eat and sleep, it's probably a good time for us to take a break and get water and something to eat. So, like usual, we'll be back real soon because this is pre-recorded and it makes it very easy. So we'll be back right about now. We're back. Surprise. All right. So the band of Scions is in Side Piece Central in the Upper West Side. And everyone is much cleaner, better fed, and has at least
May I
gotten
add
some sleep.
this note about Side Piece Central on the Upper West Side? It's definitely a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Upper West Side, Peace Central.
Also, that also works.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. All right. So the plan was to get someplace safe to rest, and then figure out the next step. So what's your next step? If you need me to sort of go down a list of plot threads,
Possible next
I
steps?
can.
So I definitely there are definitely enough robes in different sizes that people can like take a shower. Don't necessarily want to put on your old clothes though, so you could definitely send them out to my dry cleaner. It's fine. So we're just chilling out in robes. With DoorDash probably because there's no food in my kitchen.
It actually
place isn't
occurred to
for
me
eating.
that in addition to DoorDash, it's Manhattan, so I have to assume that like the hell, Amazon Now or whatever we decide that the equivalent is totally a thing. So if you want a new wardrobe, you can just get a new wardrobe delivered in an hour.
Yeah, something like that. And sort of want to lay out everything we know just so that we have a comprehensive understanding of what's happening. Many of us who weren't already in Boston were magically purloined there.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, and I don't care. We don't know how that came about or why us. If Mitch was here, Mitch has his ideas of why that happened to us, but on the why us spectrum anyway, because we're definitely heroes to Mitch.
I wonder if we will be demigods once we hit hero. If Mitch is always a tier higher than we are.
I mean, I think Mitch is more than happy to talk you all up a bit.
It's that fun thing where those words mean two different things depending on the context. So we didn't pick the sword back up, but we know that there was a Titan spawn of Guanabai X. I think that's how you say that. I don't remember. Who was attacking the museum and also appeared in Seattle. Having dealt with that, something else was stolen. The star of, I forget the name. And in investigating how somebody was framed for that, our friend, the security guard, the Rakshasas and all that other stuff in the recap happened. Does any of this make sense to any of you?
I mean, sense not much, but it's what happened. So I think that tracks. For now, out of this is Elena thinking, they keep to themselves any thought about the possible connection between them and Schwartz, because that's a thought going on in their mind. They're wondering if the lady at the cauldron was right about Elena being connected with the Russian legend.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, they just keep that to themselves. And I'm arguing with my microphone here. Okay.
The only connection we have is that both Short and Rakshasas are known shapeshifters. Other than that, we don't got anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know that this short guy is definitely planning to use us as tools to cause trouble. And I'd like to have a word with him about that. Or, I don't know, try to take off from center stage and let someone else be under the spotlight.
Coming out next fall, Short, we just want to talk.
I mean, with shapeshifters, you're just always getting shortchanged.
Good night, everyone.
and with that, good night.
Justifiably.
So we don't. And, also, we don't even know exactly what she was, but the person we met with, who was hanging out with the Rakshasas, wants the head of the person who killed the Rakshasa. If it wasn't us, then she wants to. The words were literal, want their head. I don't know if that means actually kill this person and bring them to her, or just inform her about who it is once we know for certain. Or like actually bring this person to them. I don't know what the actual deliverable for this is. But
she specifically said to bring the head of Rashid's killer to her, and I think you pointed out at the time that she didn't say that the head had to be removed, but she did specifically say to bring her the head.
Yes, I'm not certain if, on top of that clarification, if bring me the head is literal or not. Like, does it fulfill the thing to just tell her who did it?
You know what?
Or do we actually have to go capture court?
I will throw it back to you. Would it be more interesting to capture or to do research and point a pack of Rakshasa at the dude?
Well, David thinks it would be vastly more interesting to capture court if we were heroes. David does not know if this is a thing origin level characters can do. But Damien assumes it was capture or kill.
Yeah, I'm mainly throwing this at like a player level because like I know the answer I intended when I had Mrs. Nathar say it, but like story guiding is not just about me throwing exposition at you, but also collaboratively telling a story with you. So like Elliot,
I think the game would be
Michaela?
more interesting if we capture or killed.
Elliot, Michaela, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I probably back that up, trying to figure out what short steel is and how to address it is cool, but it does feel a little big for VP's kind of just a guy.
Yeah, no, I mean that's all legit. But like
Just a little guy.
spoiler, you're not gonna stay at Origin this whole time.
Okay.
The hell you say?
I mean, like having you at Origin is tons of fun, and like I think part of this stream is really like showing people, hey, you know, Origin isn't just a rule book that lets you play hero. It's also
Origin
like
is fun.
a fun game on its own. But I feel like just in general with Scion Chronicles, like the fun is part of like the trajectory of legend that characters have. So like you'll get to hero at least. At hero, we can decide whether or not going to demigod makes sense, but definitely hero at the very least.
I think Elena feels that right now Short kind of picked on them with the little "they're never gonna believe you" trick, and also there's the factor of the whole Russian thing going on. So while they don't think they're able to take, well, I mean, Elena was kind of rightfully scared of the Rakshasa, and this short guy seems like a step above. So they don't think they can just walk into town and punch a Titan spawn, at least, if not a Titan, because Elena ignores that. So they are probably going to try to at least diverge the problems from Short to them, instead from Short to Short, or from the Rakshasa to Short. That's the idea Elena has to deal with the whole problem right now, with the elements they have, at least for the moment.
Okay. And yeah, out of character knowledge, yeah, bringing the Titan spot of Chort to Mrs. Lathater, with or without his body, was what she meant. And since we've decided that that's what the character is going to do, I guess it's now kind of in character knowledge, kind of, sort of. One thing that I wanted to sort of circle back to when we were talking about how people got places is that Helena fought someone who looked like Karen and who threw them down an alleyway and where they landed in Boston. However, in the conversations that you had in Boston, you learned that the Karen in the museum was there before you showed up.
Yes.
So you know that there are two Karens, or at least one Karen and a shapeshift Karen.
And with all the shapeshifter messing with us right now, it's well, Elena probably thought that that's a possibility, that the one back in Seattle isn't really really not a twin nor a clone, not the one they fought in Boston. Yes, I had imagined that.
Definitely not a life model duplicate.
Or a scroll.
Or a Doombot. What else is there?
Jamie Madrox.
Adaptoid.
Yeah.
Fucking Jamie Madrox. Anyway, so why did I not write down who's alive? Anyway, one of the SCU, probably the guy, because I'm pretty sure that what's her name? Spectre was driving and it's
Died in the accident that we definitely didn't cause.
look, mortals don't have a lot of health boxes.
Templates.
Yeah. So the survivor wanted to talk to Mitch and actually had Mitch's number. I think there was an NYPD detective that wanted to talk to Damien, and well, there's also Karen. You could go talk to Karen, but I don't know that you want to. Also, she's in Boston. So I think that rounds out all of the sort of weird plot hooks and threads that you have. And since Jeffrey's not here and figuring out what direction y'all should go in should involve him, I think we'll leave it at that. So we have all of the interesting possibilities laid out, and next time, which should be next weekend, assuming that we're all good to go for that, we'll explore that, find out what's going on, and then get into way more trouble, because every single one of those plot threads involves way more trouble.
Love it. It's great.
So this has been the Scion Showcase. Gonna go around and talk about who people are, who they've been playing, and where folks can find cool stuff. So I went clockwise from my perspective, so we'll go counterclockwise this time around. David, who are you? Who have you been playing? And where can people throw money at you?
Name's David Castro, they, he. You can find me on Twitter, The Inked Knight, on TikTok, The Ink Stained Knight, and on Patreon, patreon.com/Inkstained Studios, or davidcastro.net. Not much to plug right now, so.
Awesome. Elliot, who are you? Who've you been playing? And where can people find your stuff and or throw money at you?
I am Elliot Freeman. I've been playing Beauregard Prescott, BP. I am on Twitter, kind of, at Elliot M. Freeman, although I'm not on that a whole lot. I'm also fairly present on like Onyx Path's Discord, so if you're interested, I'm usually somewhere around there. Beyond that, Indiegogo just wrapped up for Exalted The Exigence. So, yeah, I don't have anything to plug immediately. Forthcoming.
Michaela, who are you? Who have you been playing? And where can people find your stuff and or throw money at you?
Hello, I'm Michele Mazzola. I played Elena Torres Rappaccini, the concept I like to describe as punk poison ivy, so that shows up and will show us even more later. I work for the Chronicles of Darkness, the Scion, Trinity Continuum, and I write and develop for They Came From Line. I think I always plug this, but I love that book. I wrote a little unofficial supplement for They Came From Line. They came from the North Pole. You can find it on the Storypath Nexus.
I know,
And
it's
I close.
fun.
It's really nice. I always say this as well, but I come from Italy, from the place where Disney's Luca is set in, and that's a movie about fish people swimming. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to swim and try to become a fish people myself.
Yes. And I'm Hiromi Cota, they, them. I've been the story guide, which means that this time around, I've mainly just been Addison.
It's not a bad thing to be.
Yeah, no, Addison's great. I'm the content
Great
lead
pushing
for
it.
Scion. Sorry, what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I'm the content lead for Scion. I write and develop a bunch of stuff. I am on TikTok and Twitter as Hiromi Cota. I'm also on the Onyx Path Discord. I pay attention to the Scion channels, the LGBTQ plus channel, and the Mage the Ascension channel, and basically nothing else. And I don't necessarily respond to everything. I just lurk and then respond to things that like seem like someone needs to answer. I mentioned it at the beginning, but I'll mention it again. The National Network of Abortion Funds, abortionfunds.org, could use donations. And even if you don't donate to them, if you just go through their website to find out where the local abortion resources and funds are for you, you can go to their website and do that. Like they have at least 2 different ways to find it. Like it's under about and need an abortion, and probably also, yeah, it's under contact. It's under basically everything that you click to get you to resources that can help you, or resources that can help someone else that you can help with. So it's well worth going there and seeing what you can do to help folks, because fucking yeah. So stay safe, help folks that can get pregnant, don't ride motorcycles without a helmet, don't make phone calls while driving, wear a helmet, wear a mask, get vaccinated, fucking all that good stuff.
Don't kill Rakshasa.
Don't kill Rakshasa. Don't straight up murder people just because they're weird. Wow, that got more real than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt a pang of pain in my heart listening to that.
So we'll see you next week. Have a good one.